Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the Ecchi and Chill Show. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you are here with me, and I appreciate that. Welcome back. I am your host, Suneater Evan, and back again. Back again.
It's a
We
never-ending
have
cycle.
another very recurring guest of mine.
I
You can
never
find
leave.
him on YouTube and Twitch at Arklay
Arklay Red.
Arklay
Yeah,
Red underscore 93.
Yes.
Yes.
Instagram, yes. On Twitch, just Arklay_Red.
I'm prepared. Welcome back to the show, Cook.
Glad to be here yet again. 'Cause this is a joy to be in. Meanwhile, the audience is like, oh, him again? Ugh.
Again.
This bald ginger son of a gun.
You shut your mouth. This is an area of peace, love, and positivity and a safe space.
I said it lovingly.
Unless you're a guest and your opinion's wrong. Then you get muted. We can't hear you laugh because you just got
I
muted.
know. They can see me laugh. Those are listening, though. They can't hear me at all.
You get the band hammer.
Haha.
Good water. Anyway, so we got a lot to talk about today. Another video game episode. You want anime? Come back next week.
This
We're
is
doing
why they
games.
hate me. They're like, oh.
Because we're on Attack on Titan Sundays right now. Getting ready to watch that. We're on Demon Slayer Sundays right now. Gonna put that on. We're on Euphoria Sundays. Gonna put that on. So guess what? Sadness on sadness on sadness.
Don't worry, everybody. I'm catching up on Attack and My Hero as we speak, so
Good.
I'll be talking shortly.
And I'm not kidding. When the war arc happens, I'm doing a My Hero after show.
I will,
I'm not kidding. And if you're like, Evan, I'm still gonna catch up, and I'm
Oh,
like,
I'll
well,
be-
fine.
I'll-
You're just not gonna be on it.
I'll be sure to be caught up by that point.
But yes, so we're doing video games today. So at the time of this, Microsoft had purchased Activision this week for $70 billion in an all-cash deal.
My mind is
Now,
still blown.
By the time this episode goes out, there'll be a lot more details to come about it. But I'm sure this topic is going to completely bomb because it's not going to be talking worthy. But they still have to approve the sale, you know, all cash. Still got to approve it. So maybe it'll work out by the time this episode goes up. Who cares? But the dust has settled enough for us to talk about it, research it. What do you think about Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard for, again, I say, just over $70 billion in an all-cash deal?
Well,
I feel poor.
yeah, we all lost our minds when they bought Bethesda for $7 billion. We were like, they're madmen for that. They're like, oh, what, an extra zero? Okay, all right, we'll do it. Yeah, we got briefcases right here. Take it. Take our money. Yeah, I believe if I was read correctly, I think it was like 68.7 to be like completely accurate. But no one cares about accuracy. 7 billion sounds nicer. But I first took it as, oh, Microsoft's swinging for the fences this generation, and they're looking past this generation. They're looking for the future. Like, all right, how can we build Microsoft to last for the future? Just buy up everybody.
Pretty much.
That's-
No
which-
competition.
Which that alone kind of makes me scared for the future, because I'm like, okay, so Microsoft bought Bethesda that first time. Sony responded by locking up Bluepoint, locking up, I forgot who else they locked up, and now Microsoft's getting Activision. It's like, I'm scared that this generation is just going to be the big behemoths just buying up all the other companies to make them like, all right, we are just literally just straight up Microsoft, Sony, then there's Nintendo, Switch. I mean, the Switch is a juggernaut as it is, so they don't even give a damn about what's going on here. But I mean, it's a big money move for secure Microsoft future. I mean, Call of Duty and Candy Crush alone, those two are just two big behemoths themselves. They just rake in all the cash for them.
Oh, Candy Crush. Did you know that the mobile games market in Asia is like stupid lucrative?
Mm-hmm.
Candy Crush makes $7 billion a year.
Oh yeah, it's like Japan alone. Mobile market is huge. Like
Would have never
Switch,
guessed.
Switch destroys PS5 over there for crying out loud. Like
No
PS5
way.
Yeah, Switch is destroying everything in Japan
Wow.
because they can take it on the go. The mobile market is huge over there.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Did not even think about that for a second.
Oh yeah, like Xbox is basically dead in Japan. The fact that PS5 sales are being destroyed by Switch sales just screams that the future over there is just straight up like mobile or handheld or something. So it's like makes me wonder if like Mike's, because we're talking about like they're just adding all these games to Game Pass. There's a chance that Sony is going to be introducing their version of Game Pass here shortly. Are we looking towards where Microsoft and Sony might be trying to do like they did in the Wii generation, where Sony made their own version of like the PlayStation Move, and then Microsoft made the Kinect. Are they about to make their versions of the Switch, like Xbox taking on the Go with Game Pass and all that stuff, and then Sony will take it on their versions? Like, is that a future that we're about to slowly transition to here?
Well, a little bit. We're kind of already there.
Yes.
Because Microsoft, and I have this nice little thing in the show notes I completely forgot about that I wrote down like 3 days ago. It's great. Microsoft, they sort of kind of, they're not really in the arms race with PCs and Sony to make the most powerful, fastest console. Like, they do it because the market expects it, but they're not trying to sit there and go 3,000 frames a second. Like, they're not there. But like what they've done over the past couple of years is they've made like a serious like effort to where you can stream any game anytime. Like, it's like, hey, you want to come home? You want a cloud game? Bam, you got that. You want to clock out of work for an hour? You want to play in your car on your phone? You got that. You want to play on your laptop? You got that too. You want to play on your Kindle? We got that too. Like, they've made it so convenient to play the wealth of games they have on Game Pass anywhere. And I think that that's definitely the future, because like a lot of US gamers are not going to sit there and play games on their phone, but if you can play their console games on the phone, you're great. Because I remember back when Fortnite had just became a big thing, people could play on their phones, and that just took over. But like, imagine asking someone, hey, couldn't help but notice you're really into the Final Fantasy VII remake. Well, how would you feel if we put part 2 on your phone? Like, nobody's going to play part 2 on their iPhone. But you can stream it to your phone.
Overheat so fast.
Oh, it'd blow up. But you can stream it, which I think is excellent. And Microsoft buying Bethesda kind of shows me that the wealth of games, not Bethesda, that the giant Activision Blizzard games, like their library, they're just going to say, that's on Game Pass now too.
I mean, just off the top of your head, you got World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Candy Crush. Blanking, help me.
No,
help
it's
me.
fine. But is while you mentioned
Diablo.
Overwatch, is Overwatch a dead game, or is it just kind of not being talked about as much?
I have not played it in a hot minute, but that's just because I have wanted a break from multiplayer games for a majority of my adult life. Overwatch was the one that hooked me for a couple years.
YouTube audience, please leave a comment. I'm not even trying to slander, because people love going, dead game, dead game. No, I genuinely don't know how popular Overwatch is.
The concern right now is if Overwatch 2 is even going to happen, because they announced it, and then it's just kind of like, what the hell's going on with that game?
See, and Destiny brought this up. Sometimes you don't need a sequel. You could just keep adding content. But the issue is removing old content to make room for new content, and then people get angry. But like, you don't need a true sequel, because then you have to port over.
Yeah, and the big argument is that they said that anyone that has original Overwatch, they will still have access to the new stuff that comes out in Overwatch 2. So it's like, so what's the point of Overwatch 2 besides just seeming like a cash grab?
Yeah.
You could have just added, literally just added all in as a big update and call that update like Overwatch the new generation or something, or just some catchy title.
Yeah, because when you have games as long running and as big as Overwatch, you're going to use the resources you built in Overwatch to make Overwatch 2. And at that point, you can just make an extra Overwatch to add on to what you already have. You don't need to hard divide. Like, people get the sequel or stop. Yeah, you don't need it.
Is it as hot as it was in like 2017, 2018? God, no. It is nowhere near as hot as it was. I mean, Team Zenyatta for life. But but no, it's nowhere near as hot as it was, but it's still a moneymaker. Got merch. I'm pretty sure they still do pretty decent, like just merch sales alone. Just the name brand of it alone, it's hot, and still decent enough in the multiplayer market to where it's a big enough name to be important enough to be there.
On a quick side note of the multiplayer market, did you see that Fortnite was considering adding, or is going to add, a no build mode to their battle royale? I would play it at that point.
Bloody damn less about Fortnite.
Okay. So we don't have to stay here that long. But I just remember I downloaded Fortnite on my phone like everybody had at that point when it was blowing up. And I pull up on one guy, and I'm like, all right, it's go time. And then next thing I know, a 58-story mansion pulled up in front of me, and I died. About had a seizure. Like, what the fuck happened?
The only time Fortnite was ever on my consoles was when my ex's like younger like family members were over and they wanted to play, and I'm just watching. I'm just like, what's even going on?
Yeah,
That dude just flew out of nowhere. Why is there a skyscraper next to you all of a sudden? You're dead, and he's crying because he got like 17th place.
yeah, not doing it. Not gonna get into Fortnite.
Yeah.
I can barely handle Apex.
And just the fact
just
that
played
it's
to have
like
fun.
that just pulls in so many views on Twitch still, and you watch these Twitch streamers and how they're reacting when they're playing. It's just like that. Just nah. I don't need that energy. I don't need that vibe in my life.
We're gonna get into a lot of annoying Twitch streamers because there are so many Twitch streamers that just like they're really good at the game.
Give me
like,
a year or two, I'll be one of them.
Oh no, oh. But all right, if you're ever one of these intense Twitch streamer guys, like you're playing Apex or something, and you're just like you're sweaty, try hard guy, and you're just like, guy over there, he's pushing, I'm behind him. All right, I got this. All right, on your left, I got him. He's pushing, and I'm like, please stop.
You've watched me stream, you know that.
Like if it's comp, like if it's like a tournament going on, it's fine. But like I can't tell you the amount of people I've turned on to on like just an easy Sunday. I'm writing. I want something in the background, music, and my podcast. I'm saving for the office week, and some guy's just intense. Like I got him. I'm going up front. I'm at the top of the map. I'm clicking, and then you just hear the constant clicking of their keys, and I'm like, what? It's not that serious.
Like, look, I just worked a 12-hour shift, man. I don't need this.
Exactly.
I just want to relax.
They take the game so serious. But anyway, so back to Microsoft. I think that this deal was for two main reasons. One, we already went over with the big games and whatnot that they have, and they're, you know, like you said, thinking about the next generation, which I really think is good. That wasn't a point I had considered. I think that the industry, not the consumers, the industry is trying to make this metaverse thing a thing, and it kind of pisses me off. Like,
oh, they straight up mentioned the metaverse in their like talk about how them purchasing this and all that. It's like, please,
this gives me the gut feeling, and I can't prove this, but I just remember when Bitcoin appeared, like half the people were like, "Oh, this is the future. This is going to be great." And if you weren't one of those people, you thought it was stupid. Like, if you gave it any attention, there are some people that just still never cared. But, like, either you thought it was great, the next best thing, or you were like, you're just putting money in a computer and it just does a thing that's like stocks, but with, like, an extra step or two.
Basically.
But now, I feel like with so much talk about the metaverse where you just buy and sell digital goods and ideas, it's like, whatever. People like me, I'm like, that's stupid. But if it works, you're looking at trillions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
And it feels like if it blows up to how they hope and think it will, they're going to be at the forefront of the wave because they're going to be creating a lot of the demand for it. So they're going to be sitting on their already giant bags of cash with more giant bags of cash. So, which, you know, indirectly goes back to your point. Actually, directly back to your point about next generation. Because the next couple of years, the metaverse is either going to be a thing or it's not. And I don't think it's going to be a thing.
I hope it's not going to be a thing.
Again, honestly, it's huge. There's so much talk about it. With everybody talking about NFTs every other day, it kind of feels like this is just the next step. Speaking of NFTs, I saw it on Twitter where guys bought, like, I think one of the original copies of Dune for like $2 million. And they thought, and they were posting like, our next step now that we have Dune, we're going to make this public use so everybody can do whatever they want with it. And I'm like, you bought a copy. You don't own the thing. But it just felt like, these NFT bros are at it again.
They just make me feel smarter as an individual every time I hear words come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Like that.
Just like, hey, that's a nice image you bought. Guess what I'm going to do? Screenshot or right-click, save as. Take it down.
Like, a lot of them just sound like they do not think things through fully.
Yeah,
before they do their choices and their actions. It's like,
without getting too serious in the internet culture, it feels like that thing where people see big things on the internet and they want to own it. Like, you can't buy a dance off the internet, but like, crediting the person that made it is so big, but people want to buy the images and memes you see on the internet. And like, the point of a lot of things on the internet, like Twitter is free, even though my data is not free. So you'll never know what just pops, like what's the meme of the week. You never know. So people trying to buy images and memes, it's just so stupid. It's like, bro, just go on somewhere. Enjoy the jokes like the rest of us.
Yeah, when someone's like, it's mine. It's like, no, you just claim it as your own.
I own this Minecraft skin.
Like, no,
Good for you. I can make my own skin. I just need some JPEG work. And I need to know how to code. It's not that hard. MySpace made a whole generation of coders back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Got to get that wallpaper precise. Exactly how I want it.
Anyway, we can go ahead and talk about something else now. Where else do you want to start? We got a couple good things.
Just hit me.
All right. Well, since
turning into the Joker, just come on. I want
we're gonna stop complaining for just a second. Here's something. Can you think of any video games that would work as a movie or a TV show? Because you talked about Halo being a TV show. I hate it. I'm probably gonna watch it anyway. The Witcher, beautiful. Chef's kiss. Can't get enough of it.
First season, a little confusing, but after a rewatch, understanding.
Yeah. The Last of Us.
That's in the works.
They've
got the hiring. They got the actors in. I believe they're currently filming right now, if I remember.
Yeah.
I'm not fully caught up because I just kind of, after Last of Us 2, I was just so anti-Last of Us for a hot minute. I mean, I've slowly come around. I mean, I purchased the game. I'm going to be playing it at some point here. But yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, they're currently filming. I don't know if there's an official date for when the episodes are going to start dropping, but I know it's in the works. The first thing that comes to my mind on the concept of like a video game that can be turned into a movie or a TV show right now, just based off the last couple of years, would be Red Dead.
Ooh. A little Western style,
Yes.
a little Western movie.
Yes.
I actually kind of like the idea.
Time frame of where it would begin, I wouldn't be too sure whether it'd be starting like Red Dead Redemption 2, since that was the prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1, and following that arc, or whether it just start like season 1 be boom, season 2, or just make it movies. Like, I don't know where to begin, but I feel like that could be turned into fantastic television.
Ooh. Like, would it just be like a strictly a Western movie, or would you have the suspense, the drama? Like, how would that look? Because for those who haven't played it, like, I'm curious. Because I mean, those games seem pretty cinematic themselves.
Oh, yeah,
and it is a beautiful game. I played it for like a little bit.
Yeah, I personally haven't played them myself, but I've heard nothing but fantastic things from my good friend Jeff. He just he praises that from the first game. Like, that's one of his favorite games of all time, is Red Dead Redemption 1. But I feel like you could blend in the drama, blend in the suspense, blend in the emotion, because that's basically what the game does as well. It's like it's got that Western flair, but it's got its emotional takes on aspects. It's got that suspense. It's got that what's going to happen next moments. Like, I feel like,
great action.
Yes, I feel like they could absolutely turn it into probably like a 10-episode season, without a doubt.
Very nice. Okay. I got one for you. Final Fantasy 15.
Oh.
Like, there's a lot of Final Fantasy games that could genuinely be a whole series. But, like, 15 specifically, while the game is a mess, it's still pretty fun. But, like, all the characters in there are pretty good characters. Seeing the 4 characters of Noctis, Gladiolus, Prompto, Ignis, like, they're all, like, the way they just banter back and forth, the way they conflict with each other and compliment each other is very TV show-like. Like, I remember driving around and walking around beating up monsters, and like the most enjoyable part about going in that empty open world of a game was just those 4 just bickering and talking back and forth and quipping, and it was a lot of fun. So I really do think that could be a good TV show. And there's a ton going on that the game just genuinely didn't have time to do. It was kind of like it was in development hell for a while, and the best metaphor I could come up with it after reading about it, it's like when you're going to make dinner and dessert, but all your plans are just so grand for what you're going to do. You just don't have enough time to do all of it, so you just throw it all together. Like, let's see what works. See what works. Like, you were going to make a nice little 9-course filet mignon, and everything tastes bad, but, like, it's still somehow enjoyable.
Exactly. C minus.
It was very much a C minus kind of game, but like it's enjoyable to play. So like the main villain of this game is like the Star Scourge, which is this ancient plague that makes demons in the night, and it can also corrupt people. There's 6 gods that commune with the world, and one woman that specifically talks to the six gods, and then there's the purple-haired bad guy. On paper, Final Fantasy 15 works. So I think watching the four guys try to weave in and out of all the big various plot lines of the open world and all the beautiful-looking cities would be a lot better than the video game presented it to be. Because, again, development hell. At some point, you've had all these resources for 10 years. It's like, all right, we're tired of spending all this money on this. We just got to put it on paper. Put it on disc, because I was going to say digital, but I know how you are. Put it on digital and get it out here.
I will say that final boss fight in 15 was just fantastic. Like, I watched somebody stream it, and I'm like, God damn.
That, like, the best way I can put it is that Final Fantasy 15 is like Naruto in a lot of points. There are some parts that are just messy, but, like, when it's good, it's really good. Like, Naruto, when it wants to, is gorgeous to watch. Like, Final Fantasy 15, like, there are some parts of that game that are absolute standouts. And you can tell they had that first, and then the rest of the game kind of fell apart. And they're like, how are we just going to stitch these excellent parts together?
Yeah, they were like, all right, we got this done. Okay, this part.
All right.
Let in. There we go.
Yeah, just, we have this. And then a bunch of stuff, and then this. But yeah, so Final Fantasy 15, I think, would be excellent.
And then time jump, and then boss. Okay.
Oh, my God. Let's stop. I almost got angry. I almost muted me. But another one, I think, Fallout. In the same vein as your Red Dead series, I definitely think Fallout could be a good one, specifically Fallout 3. Because for those of you that haven't played it, Fallout, you should know of the series, but Fallout 3 specifically, you're released from the vault, finding out that your father's one of the people, in fact, the only person that leaves the vault in and out, and your particular vault in 3 never opens. You are there forever. You are born in the vault, you die in the vault. And then you are the second person to ever leave. And you got to go find your dad, and you go out to this giant wasteland populated with settlements every now and then. And it doesn't seem to be a lot going on in the open world. But once you get to cities, you just kind of see everybody on the verge of just giving up. Like, the world, it could work as kind of like a Western style kind of movie, now that I'm thinking about it. But there's so many plot threads and hooks just for a beautiful, excellent game. Although I do think it only works because you do make the decisions. Like, I can't imagine being, like, watching a TV show where the main character decides to set off a nuke in the middle of a town and just blow the whole thing up. Like, that'd be deeply dissatisfying. I'm like, this guy's a dick.
You'd be like, what the hell?
Like, who decide? Like, what main character is just like, hey, if you pay me 100 bottle caps, I'll blow it up, and does it. But then there's the Vault Tech, which I really think could work as a documentary, where you learn that Vault Tech, the company, the faceless company that's made all the vaults all over the land, all of them were for experiments. Like, there's one vault that had 100 women and 1 man, and then 100 men and 1 woman. And naturally, you know how those things destroyed. There was one vault that had 1 person in it forever. He just had a bunch of puppets.
Just like I Am Legend.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the lore in Fallout is amazing. Then there was one where they had sentient plants. I don't know how that one worked.
Ugh.
It was crazy, though.
Just getting PTSD.
Oh, my God. Yeah, they had sentient plants. Like, the loose theory, now that I'm off this, I'm about to get off this. I'm going to land my plane in a second, guys, please. The theory is that all the vaults were on some level trying to figure out different aspects of what it would take to put humanity in space and live in space, because life on Earth after the big war is so irradiated that they're just not going to be able to rebuild it anymore. So when they have people in one particular vault take orders from just a computer, it's like an experimental. Yeah, one of the vaults. The computer just says, all right, kill somebody. And the experiment is, well, are they going to do it? The computer just says, do something.
Jump off a cliff. I don't think I want to do that. Do it now. Yeah. I don't feel like, I swear to God. Yeah.
So it's just all various aspects of human behavior. And I think kind of like I forget the term for it. It might just be a variety series, but like if you have one season focusing on this vault, one season focusing on, or maybe just an episode or two focusing on particular settlements trying to fight their way away from raiders, maybe focusing on the raiders. Just like there's so many things to it. Just not Fallout 4 because it is trash. Trash. Anywho.
Wait, could you play that button again for Fallout 76?
Oh my, don't ever bring that up on this pod.
I've heard it's much better, but I mean, honestly, it should have been like that from the start.
Fallout 76 was a hollow, soulless cash grab, and I am firmly believing that it was only in existence to help pay for the development costs of what's going to be Fallout 5 or the next Elder Scrolls game.
Which I don't think they're still released it yet for that Elder Scrolls game.
They're going to make you wait.
Oh, yeah. They're like, Starfield first, and then we'll talk about that.
Perhaps. Speaking of waiting, when do you think Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to get an announcement? Not a release date. When are they going to say it's coming?
When GTA Online stops making them bank.
Okay. Follow-up question. When is that going to happen?
Never. Because all the 8-year-olds get their parents to buy it for them.
I mean, when do you
I was one of those 8-year-olds, though.
It's okay. You can admit it.
No.
What,
I was 11.
Paying for shark points or whatever the currency is there?
No, it was for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas when I was 11 years old. Or was it 12?
Great game.
That came out in 04, 05.
Can't remember. Probably 05.
I was 11 or 12. One of my parents got it for me. The other parent was very pissed off about it.
Oh, I was not allowed to play Grand Theft Auto growing up. Did it anyway.
Yeah. I was like, what do you mean? I'm not going to do anything. And then I just killed all the hookers.
I mean, you're young.
I know.
You're supposed to just drive at night and just honk, beep, beep, get in the car. And then
video games make kids evil.
And then
that's how I vented my emotions.
And then the car's rocking, and then when she gets out, you run her over, you get half of what you paid for.
I got my money back.
It's funny, man.
I needed to take the Big Smoke to get some cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Plus, Grand Theft Auto has beautiful open worlds.
Oh, yes.
Like, those things are great. But Grand Theft Auto, I think, even though that Grand Theft Auto is incredibly cinematic, could also probably work as a TV show. But I'm curious, when do you think they started working on GTA 6? Because I think they're probably, like, writing it and getting, like, the bare...
Realistically, thinking about it, they've had to have started something.
Yeah, like, I know, like, NDAs everywhere.
GTA 5 will be 10 years old next year. They need to have something going for GTA 6 at this point.
I mean, yeah, not when they're going to port it over to the PS5 again.
Yeah, March of this year.
Three generations.
Like, come on.
Weren't you the one who put me on the Game Awards? You said, like, Rockstar's first. They're going to announce GTA 6 is in development. Like, at least in development. Give us something. And they went out and said, hey, everybody.
Yeah, that was actually it was a Sony, I don't know if it was the reveal event for the PS5 or if it was the next thing after, but the very first thing that opened was Grand Theft Auto 5 coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, but PlayStation 5.
You rat bastards.
I'm literally sitting in my living room like, this is how we're going to open. Are you kidding me? This makes me just want to jump off a cliff.
Like, I'm honestly surprised they did video game shows over the past 2 years because of the pandemic. Like, I'm honestly surprised. Just like, say, we're not doing it this year. We ain't got no news.
If this was in 2020, like I think it was just like a presentation where it was clips, and then the main dude for Sony being like, thank you for watching. We got many trailers, blah, blah, blah. Trailer person, reveal of the console, and everyone's like, it's a big router. Anyway, it's a...
That thing did look ugly.
Oh, yeah.
I love the PlayStation 5 I have. I don't like its design. I don't care, though. I got Miles Morales. I got the remake. I'm on vacation next week. I'm good. That's all I'm doing.
I mean, let's be honest. The design... Hit the mic. Sorry for those listeners.
He's passionate.
I mean, the design of the console, you look at it, it literally looks like it becomes a V. So I'm pretty sure they got that V element in for PS5.
Oh, my God.
But also for the vents as well.
The PlayStation 5 memes went off, and it was great. Oh, yeah. Like, it looks like Cell's head.
Kaiba.
Ah!
That was Kaiba's jacket with the arms on it.
Yeah, it looks like Cell's head just with the green jacket. That's great. All right. Let's keep going.
All right.
This is inspired by TikTok. What is a video game trope you're tired of and you wish they would stop altogether? Not industry practice, so don't comment microtransactions. But like
this
you're
is
playing
something that's in video games and not like
Yes.
something around video games.
like a
'Cause
mechanic
I was
or feature
mainly
or
going-
story thing.
I was gonna focus on annual releases, but I can't do that. Something.
Oh, we're gonna crap. We did crap on the annual release last episode.
We
were
did.
on.
Okay.
So
My memory's hot garbage.
people are gonna say, "Oh, I'm tired of you recycling the same thing," and I'm like, "I do what I want."
My memory's hot trash. Stop it.
We did crap on the annual release,
Thank you for listening anyway. But,
which, by the way, Microsoft did say they're not going to have an annual release of COD,
Yes.
or at least they're going to try to stop it.
Yes.
Which can't thank them enough for it. It's so much better to just take your time, make a full game,
mhm.
and people only play COD for the multiplayer anyway.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's better to just make a full game
Mm-hmm.
every couple years because every year people are just gonna hate it.
Let's see. A trope within video games I cannot stand. More than likely when they just they release a new game, but they don't really add anything to it. It's like the exact same mechanic, as the exact same. Or would that fall under industry practice?
Oh, what do you mean?
Like for example, the Madden games. They don't really add anything new to it.
Oh, we
Or
always
like-
got time to slander EA.
They don't really add anything new to it except for maybe every 3 to 4 years. Like, oh, here's something, but that existed back in 2005 that fans have been wanting in the game, back in the games for years now. Like they'll take things out and then add it back in years later and call it a new mechanic.
Oh my god. I stopped playing Madden because it was the same game every year, just updated rosters, and they fixed like 1 or 2 bugs, which would make 10 more bugs happen.
Mm-hmm.
But when they marketed, I can't remember what Madden it was, but when they had took out the Pro Bowl in Madden 12, and then they brought back this brave new feature in like Madden 18, 19, or 20,
Mhm.
doesn't matter, same game. They were like, hey, we brought back the Pro Bowl. I'm like, are you serious? That's like saying, hey, we brought back alternate jerseys. That's an expectation to have. There should be no reason it's gone from the game. You don't get credit for putting out a fire you started. You don't get, imagine if Madden next year is like, hey guys, this is going to be the best Madden in years. Why? We added back create a team. Like, oh, thanks. You're still very much not on par with what you were 15 years ago.
Exactly. I played Madden 10 and Madden 11 recently for the first time in years, and I was like, this is even better than what's out right now.
Hard agree. Madden 11 is my favorite Madden. It's the last good Madden.
Yeah, for me, it's Madden 10 through Madden 12. Those 3 are my personal favorites to go
Mhm.
back to.
I got a feature for you.
Oh no!
Any escort mission ever.
Yes. Why did? Oh my god!
Any escort mission
Oh,
ever.
we literally just talked about it last night, but Resident Evil 4. Oh,
Do it.
Ashley Graham, the president's daughter. Oh. All I know is whenever the Resident Evil 4 remake comes out or is announced or anything, please reduce the amount of escort bullcrap with Ashley. Oh, why did I not think of that? You're a genius. Oh,
I
God.
knew. I wrote down a bunch of things. I knew something was going to stoke your memory. I just got to unlock the PTSD.
Yeah, literally Resident Evil 4. For those who have not played that, I want to say masterpiece of a game, but it has its flaws like every other game does. It's still a fantastic game. It's one of the best games of all time. You are going to Europe to save the president's daughter, but she is just this useless, whining brat of a 20-year-old college student. Just, Leon, help! And then you're shooting things, and she happens to be up the shelf, and you accidentally look at her, and she's like, "Oh, you pervert! Looking at my skirt." It's like, game over. But the best part is you can hide her in certain trash bins all around. You're just like, get in there, just hide. And she doesn't exist anymore until you call her back out, and you just have peace and serenity. And then you try to go through the next area. It's like, you can't leave Ashley behind. It's like, bet. I will hack this game. I will get through. I will win. It's like, I can't whistle because loudness. But then she hears you whistle and kind of just like, okay. You just triggered all.
Every game I've ever had an escort mission is terrible. And it's not the fact that they're just difficult missions in general, is that the AI is always dumb. You're just like, let me go on ahead, clear the enemies out. And they're like, oh, I see you're going forward in danger. Let me join you.
Let me run ahead.
Or you just say, all right, you know what? We're going to stay together, and I'm just going to play crowd control. I'm not going to try to defeat any enemies. I'm just gonna hit them as they show up and knock them back. And then the person you're escorting is like, let me fight with you. No, you're not. That's why I'm escorting you. Every single escort mission is miserable. I don't care what you add to it. They all suck.
Like, you'll go to snipe somebody RE4 and like, this is the scope, and Ash will be like, oh, I see you're trying to kill somebody right there. What was you doing? Let me look at you, eh? And you're just like, oh, wait.
That's a big barrel on that gun. What's it do? Let me put my eye on it to look
and
inside.
And then they just slash, and she dies immediately in one hit, and it's just like, oh, my.
Yeah, Fallout 3, where you have to, in Fallout 3, there's like a little safe haven where the kids grow. I think it's called Little Lamplight. And then you have to take them, like, once they get a certain age, they get kicked out, and one kid asks you to escort him to a nearby city, and he just takes off through the wasteland.
I'm down.
He goes through Raider lands. There's like a couple death claws that may or may not spawn, and he's just like, yeah, follow me. And I might pay you with money that I'm pretty sure I don't have. He's not convincing in saying he'll pay you. It's so terrible. Hate escort missions. Here's something else.
Yes.
I don't know how many open world games you play.
Not many. I'm trying to get into them, but.
Good?
Yeah.
Good. I don't know how many open world games you play. I cannot stand open world games that are beautiful with a big open world, and that's all they market it as towards you, but you play the game and there's nothing to do in the open world besides fetch quests and collectibles. Fetch quests I don't mind, but when they say something like, old weapons of your character's previous life are scattered throughout the world, go collect them. Like, that's it? You just give me collectibles? Like, again, I say, Final Fantasy 15. That world is gorgeous to walk around in. There is giant swaths of emptiness. So empty that you drive the car through it and you'll never need to go there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is so
I have
empty.
I have a memory of, like the little bit I did play the game where it's like 250 kilometers ago, and like you're driving, just sitting there waiting. All of a sudden I look up, it's like 249 kilometers ago. I'm like, it's been 5 minutes. What do you mean? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like there are whole sections of you driving from city to city, and there's nothing. There's nothing. Like, you have to get out the car and go find things to do. But again, the world looks gorgeous. Photo mode is fantastic.
A big blade of grass swings. Is that a monster? Is that? Yeah, can we stop the car? It's like, no, it's just a tree.
Can't
God dang it.
stand open world game. Just at that point, just make the game a bunch of series of long hallways. Like, don't do that.
Isn't that what the first Final Fantasy 13 was? Very linear hallway-like structures.
13 was linear and it was terrible. I hate everything about that game.
I've heard nothing but meh about that trilogy of games of 13, so I'm like, all right, I'll avoid that one if I ever play Final Fantasy games.
You want to talk about no vision. You want to talk about everybody just doing whatever they wanted. 13 was bad. 13-2 was bad. 13
Lightning Returns.
Lightning Returns was bad. And Lightning Returns was bad, not because they had lightning at the forefront for some reason. They basically made her Jesus at this point.
Oh, God.
And I don't mean like in terms of power, but like she was like the whole Jesus allegory at this point in the story. And I'm like, why are we doing this? That top to bottom, I hated it. I remember borrowing it from James. Shout out to James. And I think I gave it back in like 3 hours. I'm like, don't ever give this again.
You pulled the Kingdom Hearts, so you were like, nope.
He was like, yeah, but you like Kingdom Hearts. And I was like, yeah, I had standards. Don't give me this. Talking about. But yeah,
I have standards, David.
Open world games where there's nothing to do but collect things. It's like, but they don't give you a fast travel option. Burn it.
There's something to rage about when it's a massive world and you don't get fast travel unlocked until like at 3/4 of the way through the game. It's like, where was this when I needed it?
Oh, speaking of that exact quote, here's something that's very niche and only a couple people will agree with me. I understand why developers have to do it. I hate that when you are, let's just say, 85 to 90% completed with the game. All the story, all the side quests, all the collectibles. You've created every weapon, all the armor sets, and your reward for doing all that is like a super powerful weapon. But there's nothing to do with it because you've done everything.
Oh, yeah. It's just basically like, here, have this weapon now, even though you've already 99.9% of the game. It's like,
yeah. I know it's to keep you from getting it from grinding straight forward earlier in the game, so the rest of the game is just easy. You're just breezing through everything. But like outside of a new game plus option, getting the best armor and equipment at the end of the game brings you nothing. Kingdom Hearts somewhat rectified this by adding optional bosses, but like that's it. And those optional bosses are so mechanic heavy. It doesn't matter what sword you're using if you're not thinking and having a walkthrough in front of your face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like me as a kid with Kingdom Hearts, for example. It's like I never looked at like, oh, what is the detail of what each Keyblade does best? I was just like, what's strongest? Oblivion. Because I didn't have Ultimate Weapon. My stepbrother at the time didn't have Ultimate Weapon.
On a complete side note question, are you like me where you're playing a game and you get a new armor set and you look at it and go, oh, that's really good stats, but it's ugly. I'm not going to wear it.
Yep. I look at it and I just go, ooh. But it's increased my defense dramatically. But no.
I do that all
Fashion
the time.
Souls.
Like if I'm having a build and I'm like, I'm gonna go straight offense build. Like I understand the risks, but I'm gonna start swinging things. And then I get an armor set that's like, hey, +5 to magic, +5 to armor, +10 resilience. I'm like, ooh, that's crispy. But then I put it on and I'm like,
it's just
that
a
ain't it.
choker.
It's disgusting. Take it away.
No, I mean that's literally me. And when I play the Dark Souls games when I played each of them for the first time through, I'm just like, oh, what's this? Oh, that looks nice. Oh, it's weaker. Or I'll get something and look at the stats really quick. I'm like, oh, and then I look and it's literally just like a slight face covering, and I'm like, why? That's not necessary. Like, come on. Like half the time with my strength character in Dark Souls, I literally don't have like a shirt or gauntlets. I just have literally like pants, like light pants and my giant Black Knight greatsword. Just I'ma kill you, slash, dead.
I also dislike JRPGs where they make you play as a character with ugly armor for a while. It's like, let me design something. This character's armor, 0 drip.
Literally,
his clothes whack, his shoes whack, his hair whack. I remember when I was trying to play Genshin Impact. Shout out to Jesse. I was like, oh my god! Now I see why the people love this game so much, because it has like an endless supply of just straight up beautiful waifus.
Exactly.
It's like most of their budget goes to figuring out what anime girl to get the player to play as. No, that's not a joke. Anything else? I know there's something. I know.
Well, seeing how for some reason I didn't think of escort missions right off the bat, I'm trying to go off my memory banks here. Yeah, it's mostly just escort missions and the fast travel not being an option for a large world until near the very end of the game, where it's like I could have saved so much of my personal time not having to run at slow, boring pace when if there's no run mechanic, where it's just the same speed. And you can't like how like in Zelda the last couple games they've introduced the stamina, so you run faster instead of just being the same speed. Where back in the day it was just roll. Yeah. Just do that faster.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I remember that. Just when if your jumping speed is faster than your walking speed, you're gonna just jump
or you would
your
Z
way
target,
to a whole place.
Or you'd Z target, so you're going sideways and you just side jump the entire way. As long as you knew the map by heart, you just do. But no, it's mostly based off my memories. It's just mostly escort missions and fast travel not being a very quick option. But I mean, back in our heyday, fast travel wasn't even a thing. So,
oh, it wasn't. They were like, "Hey, we built this world. Go fucking go." But I just want to get over there. Well, get to stepping.
It's like, oh, you want to get up that mountain? Start walking.
Oh, and what makes your heart sink is when you leave a safe zone to go travel somewhere, and then you were like, oh man, that was a lot of traveling. Let me go ahead and heal up real quick. Realize you left a bunch of materials in the safe zone, or you didn't buy enough healing items. You got to go back.
That was me with Dead Space 2, my most recent playthrough. I'm like, all right, I got enough stuff. Walk out, immediately go through every healing item in 0.5 seconds. I'm like, all right, let me go back through the store and into the store. Oh, I used up all my money. I'm kind of screwed.
Oh, and I got something else for you. I'm going to land my plane in just a bit. But
Your plane's been idle
when you
for
mentioned,
about 15 minutes.
no, I've landed a bunch of planes today. You're not going to do that to me.
I'm just going to mute myself.
Yeah, you goddamn right. No. This applies to Kingdom Hearts because I remember in a couple of places, but mostly to Halo. Specifically, Halo Combat Evolved did this, and I think a couple places in Reach did this too. I'm going to try my best to be calm.
Be prepared, audio listeners.
When they have you go into like a cave that branches off into a bunch of different areas, or a tunnel, or otherwise a big structure like a building, and the entire environment looks the same, and they have you go from A to B to C and then go all the way around and back through the environments, all of which look the exact same, and you have no landmarks to go off of, but, oh, I shot that body over there, that was there, I left that there, let me turn, yeah, this weird green room to the left was here, so that means I'm going the right way. I cannot stand that. I understand you will never use the resources, but like when your entire environment's the same and I'm going through the same hallway
and you just get lost for
and then I stumble upon where I'm supposed to be and they say, all right, you got what you came for, turn back. And I'm like, what do you mean turn back? I didn't know I was supposed to be here.
There's like 3 different quadrants I haven't explored yet. What do you mean? Because
so much of Halo is in the first ship, the Pillar of Autumn, in the Covenant ship, Truth of Reconciliation, and then in Forerunner structures. And like when you're in it, genuinely entire rooms look the same. So when you're fighting a bunch of enemies, it's easy to get turned around and you're like, where?
Why?
How did we get here?
How?
And oh my God. And in Kingdom Hearts, the Atlantica level, unless you're really focused on what each room is, you're gonna get yourself lost.
I literally had that happen to me where it's like it's got like the tridents on the wall, but they're not specifically pointing at which little section you need to go into to get exactly where it's pointing to.
Yes. And even more frustrating is that Halo and Kingdom Hearts save by checkpoints. So you have to find a spot to save. So if you're ever at a moment where you're like, you know what? I have to get going, you have to find the save point or push forward to get to the save. You can't manually save and pick up later. I said I was going to be calm. I'm not going to rant today.
Deep breaths.
I'm already there. But anyway, whatever you have to do, stop making your rooms and hallways the same look. It's hard. And I'm opening myself up to the YouTube comments. Oh, Evan, you're just not as good as me. I soloed it. I did it by myself. I didn't find it hard to look at. Well, I did. And I hated it.
I did it on Legendary one shot.
I did it on Heroic 4 times and I only had one hand and my TV was barely even working.
And I'm blind.
My grandma did it. She doesn't have thumbs. It's like, shut up.
She had no idea what was going on. She was one-shotting everything.
That's another. Why do gamers do that? Like, why do gamers do that? I can just find a thing difficult.
Everyone just wants to feel like they're better than everyone else, some way, shape, or form.
Oh, you don't like Fortnite? I played against the top 5 player in the world.
Congratulations.
Good for you. Just got to play the Olivia Rodrigo. Good for you.
Yeah. Congratulations. Helped you sleep at night.
Yeah. Good. I hope God does damage to your house.
I mean, it's like I love Legend of Zelda Resident Evil. It's like I can beat Resident Evil Remake pretty dang quick, but I don't brag about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I can beat Resident Evil in 10 minutes. Yeah, because you're probably hacking.
No. Look at the camera with me. Let people enjoy things.
Yes.
Let people find things difficult.
Yes.
We're all here to enjoy video games at the end of the day.
Yes.
And we're all here to have fun on this pod at the end of the day. So, right. So again, thank you so much, Cook, for joining. It's a pleasure to have you back.
It was a pleasure. Absolute pleasure being here.
Pleasure. I'm sure that at some point with all the editing of the episodes, because on this weekend I filmed 3 episodes, and you were on like 2 of them.
Oh, yeah. It was fantastic.
And then I just finished the editing of the episode, like the final tune-ups of the episode that's going to be episode 3 with us by this point. Because again, staggering the content. I don't want to get burned out. At some point, I'm going to think in your voice. Like the voice in my head is going to sound like you. I'm very sure of that fact. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening to the Ecchi and Chill Show. Thank you for vibing and joining us. I have episodes coming out every 2 weeks. Be sure to tip your waitress, wear your mask, be nice to people.
Just be a good person.
Let people enjoy things. And I don't have anything for Ann. I don't have anything. Well, play me out there.